Hello. Over here. just looking at myself in the webcam and trying to get myself a little more centered. Hello and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch and Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at LewDolphin21 on Twitter. Twitter is LewDolphin21. And on Twitch and YouTube, it's LewDolphin with no digits. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, and Aeon's End are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, and Spirit Island is in early access on Steam. You can find more information on the games at Handelabra.com. Woohoo! John is here! And Twitcher is a new service that only has loot in it. I always fumble that part of the intro because it's not consistent between how it's described for Handelabra versus me. Handelabra Games on Twitch, Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. LewDolphin21 on Twitter, LewDolphin on Twitch and YouTube. It's not consistent. I wonder if I could change my username on Twitter. I think I looked into it and LewDolphin was taken, but not by me. Someone stole it from me. So, and YouTube, it's kind of fiddly because actually my account is not LewDolphin, but I can rename it. Sorry, I don't have that. Okay. Like my account is technically some username that I created in high school, but it's not what I go by these days. But I changed the display name on YouTube to reflect my current name, but I can't change the, like if you go to youtube.com/user/LewDolphin, it doesn't go to the right place, I don't think. But if you search for LewDolphin, you find me. And then Twitch is just LewDolphin, so it's easy. The 21 is my birth date, and it was something I put in the 2000s. The LewDolphin with no digits was because of boring story. So now that I've excited and riveted all of you, let's play solo Spirit Island. Fun to be able to just be by myself and do my own things, not have a John over my shoulder saying, no, don't do that, we're gonna deal with that place. But actually, now that I'm playing it solo, I can actually take off the, where is it? Land numbers, yes. Because we can describe our lands verbally versus lettery. Lettery, it makes it easier to communicate with multiplayer people, but for my purposes, I prefer just looking at the board as a living entity. And someone's still going to refer to them by A3 and D7, and I'm not going to be able to stop that. So what am I going to play with today? Well, let's take a look at the scenarios, I think. Guard the Isle's Heart. This one we said is better if it's with 3 or 4 players, because then it's actually a central land. Rituals of Terror. Gear cards are not resolved during the invader phase. You have to resolve them when you perform the Ritual of Terror. The spirits may perform the Ritual of Terror if there is a land with 1 presence from each spirit. That land has at least 3 Dahan per player. The spirits collectively spend 3 energy total and destroy 3 presence total in that land. Yeah, I mean, I could just play 3-player, you know, and just totally make this a really fun 2-hour Spirit Island stream. I'm trying to think if I want to do this one. I know we did Blitz on Spirit Island Saturdays. I think we had a Dahan Insurrection on Spirit Island Saturdays. Let's try Ritual of Terror. Let's try that out. That's difficulty 3 by itself. Brandenburg, Prussia. Well, when was that level? Okay, let's get rid of this for a second. That was difficulty 2. Except no, we did this level 2 last week, so that was difficulty 4. Sweden. I don't remember if we went beyond stage 0, but bases difficulty 1. I'm just taking a look at the difficulties here, but I theoretically played a difficulty 4 game. Rituals of Terror is innately difficulty 3. So we could combo that with either of these at base level for it to be equal in difficulty, or we could up it one more level to make it level 5. But I probably would just want to play it solo just so I can focus on that scenario proper instead of conflating it with the rules for Sweden. So this scenario is noticeably easier for spirits with strong Dahan movement, such as Thunder Speaker, notably harder in a solo game with a spirit with poor energy generation or slow presence placement. Yeah, so just to read this out more in detail. Terror levels are not earned via fear, but by the Ritual of Terror. Do not resolve fear cards during the Invader phase. During the fast or slow phase, the spirits may perform the Ritual of Terror if there is a land with 1 presence from each spirit. So if we do 2-player here, and we'll just take B and C for the moment, and this gives us Vital Strength of the Earth and a spread of Rampant Green, which we might not necessarily play with, but if we're playing with these 2 spirits, there is a land with 1 presence from each spirit. So we would have to have either land B or land C have a presence from the other spirit. So even though spread of Rampant Green starts here, we would need Vital Strength of the Earth to progress into land C. Now in that land has at least 3 Dahan per player. So in a 2-player game, we need to have 6 Dahan in that land. So in a solo game, that's innately met. In a multiplayer game, in a 2-player game, there's 6 Dahan, so it's already met unless one of the Dahan get destroyed. And in a 3 or 4-player game, you have to push more Dahan into that land or generate more Dahan in order for that to work, I think, based on how I'm reading that. The spirits collectively spend 3 energy total and destroy 3 presence total in that land. And I believe the collectively means that it's not a single spirit that is doing this. Or does, so destroy 3 energy, destroy 3 presence. So like spread of Rampant Green, you know, he has the special rule that he could use destroyed presence. So he could be a really great candidate for this because he could destroy his presence and bring them back using steady regeneration. Oh, okay. I'm let's start over again. Hi, I'm Lou Dolphin. Land is different than board. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so we do need to put Dahan into a single land. Got it. Ah, boy, this is embarrassing. Let's Krista, can you cut this? Thank you. Thank you for clarifying now before I got too deep in this. And it's good that I'm reading this out loud so that John can correct me while I do this. Whoosh, none of that happened. All right, so land is different than board. So land, so let's take a look at this C5 here. Suppose that we wanted to perform the Ritual of Destruction in this land. Ritual of Terror, sorry. And that was this C5, yeah. So we need to have a presence from Spread of Rampant Green and from Vital Strength of the Earth in this land. So it's not just that the Vital joins this board, but it's also this land. I'm just thinking about, like, I guess fear cards, maybe, I don't know, maybe not. So it has to be a land with that presence that has to have 3 Dahan per player. So this is also, you have to be able to move Dahan in order for this to work, even in a single player game, because you'd have to have 3 Dahan in this land, and none of the boards have 3 Dahan in a single land. So with 2 players, we would need to have 6 Dahan in this land in order to be able to perform the Ritual of Terror, right? Am I reading that correctly? Spirits collectively spend 3 energy total and destroy 3 presence total in that land. So not just 1 per spirit in here, we'd have to have a 3rd in a 2-player game, or in 3 or 4 players, you know, whatever number. 3 energy total and 3 presence destroyed. And as I said, we could still have this comboed well with Spread of Rampant Green because he can get his destroyed presence a little more easily. And that performs the Ritual of Terror. When the Ritual of Terror is performed, earn the next terror level. This may be victory on your 3rd ritual. Resolve all earned fear cards at the new terror level, and push all Dahan from the land where the ritual was performed, distributing them as evenly as possible among all adjacent lands. I.e. spend 1 Dahan to each adjacent land before spending a 2nd to any. Yeah, 12 Dahan in a single land. It's a metropolis of Dahan at that point. So that just changes how fear cards work. you earn them all, you earn a bunch, but you can't resolve them until you perform the Ritual of Terror. And the Ritual of Terror is a bit more expensive, but it allows all fear cards to be gotten at one point, which is going to really devastate the lands. So instead of putting the terror level advisors into the fear deck, you put them on the side. You put all fear cards into the fear deck. If you run out, you earn no more fear cards. So it's possible, for whatever reason, for me to just gain fear the entire game and never perform a Ritual of Terror, run out of fear cards, and then the first Ritual of Terror just unleashes all the fear cards. But that would be pretty bad. So based on my understanding, it seems like, based on what I said, spread of Rampant Green is really good for this. And I don't know that Vital Strength of the Earth is necessarily that good unless he can move Dahan. He can gather. I mean, he can certainly do a lot of gathering, but I'm kind of thinking more about, like, Thunder Speaker is one that's really good, right? Pushes up to 4 Dahan, gathers up to 1. But that's mentioned explicitly on the cards, so I kind of want to steer away from that. Just because let's not, you know, go with what's stated innately. Gather up to 2 Dahan, push up to 2 Dahan. This seems like another good candidate for this. Plus, you know, he generates a bajillion fear innately, so he could definitely help out a lot with this. But does he add presence quickly enough? He can add a presence to land with Dahan at range 4, which is actually really good, because if we decide to do a Ritual of Terror, he could get to that land quickly enough. And by he, I mean it, because there are no genders here. It requires me to play with the Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares, on the other hand, which I'm still, even though I played it once. Yeah, and Rampant Green also helps, yeah, so I don't necessarily need to worry about this clause so much. But I was originally thinking of River Surges and Sunlight because River can add Dahan, but he can, but River can only gather Dahan though, so it's about equal to Vital Strength of the Earth. He gathers up to 2 Dahan with that card, whereas River gathers up to 2 Dahan with this card. But this basically puts 3 Dahan in a land that I wanted though, and this also is range 0. Gathers especially good after they scatter, yes, because the other part of the ritual is that the Dahan leave that land. This was range 1, so that's actually a bit easier to gather with. But so Rivers, that's slow, but we could do the ritual during the slow phase if we needed it. I'm just gonna play with River. What I'm getting at is I want River. River's bounty is almost cheating. You know, this is what I think about this. Let's play. No blight, no bonus, spirit growth, omit, nope. All right, yeah, that's all good and dandy. I do want to move this board to make it look weird. I kind of like this shape better, just because having all the oceans on one side makes it easier to decide. Like having, so doing it, how was it? It was this card, yeah, so that moves it there. Having the ocean on both sides just made it a bit perplexing, and this orientation also perplexes me. I mean, it's fun to play with, but I think I want to stick with this. We'll play that. Oh, actually, let's do that so that the wetlands are closer to land C. All right, let's go. This gives River a better reach, I would say, to board B. But you now don't know which is board B and which is board C, and you don't know what is land 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, you could determine which is 1, 2, or 3, because I believe it was like this wetland here is land 1, and then this is land 2. That's land 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe was the numbering scheme. I'm not going to refer to it that way. I'm going to refer to it by the wetlands in the northeast. Okay, so building in the mountains. Can we prevent some number of these actions? You'll have to forgive me as I am still not 100%. I don't remember every single individual card, so I'm going to continue to bring these things up. Spread of Rampant Green doesn't necessarily do a lot with his cards there, and he also doesn't do it here. In fact, he does nothing with Explorers in either direction. He pushes lands, he damages lands. All he can do is prevent a build or a Ravage by destroying his Sacred Site, which is, you know, good. River can push Explorers innately if River has the right elements. He could also push with Wash Away, and he can do damage with Flash Floods. I'm gonna keep saying he, but it's it. I need to be mindful of that. So River could do Presence to get 2 energy, 2 card plays, and could do a Wash Away and would need to play a Sun card. We could go right up the Gathering Dahan road, you know, because Rituals of Terror and all that. River doesn't start... Yeah, River's already in a wetland, but we could get River 1 space away, and we can combo that to get to what we would need her to go. It's a she now. But if we do that, we could push an Explorer and push an Explorer. Range 1 of Sacred Site, range 1. So we could stop the build in the middle mountains and the build in the southeast mountains. We can't stop the builds in the other mountains because they have a town and a city in them. But can we do something about that with the spread of Rampant Green? We could push, but that's not going to stop the build. Kind of feel like we want green to have a card that might be able to deal with Explorers. What are the other options there? If I gain a power card, I would gain energy, but if I add a presence and get an extra card play, I could play 2 cards. Because I can't get to an extra card play unless I add a second presence. I also have 0 energy innately. I can add energy with the 3rd option. You do have a good defend card over here, though. Well, not defend card, but defend power. You could do defend 2 or defend 4 in a land, and if we could take out that town and they rebuild a town, if we can destroy the town fast, they only build a town, then we could do a defend 2 there next turn. Unfortunately, all the powers that would do that would be slow. And we'll be left with a town, and we'll be left with a city and an explorer, and that's not going to work. I don't know what I'm going to do over here with that city. So, like, if River does presence, we would need to probably put a presence. You don't have defense innately either, though. That's also problematic. But we can deal with this mountains by pushing. We can deal with that mountains by pushing. So we don't need you to be in a land to defend with Dahan in any capacity. However, again, these are also slow powers. So all that I just said is wrong because you can't stop a build if you're doing a push slow. Welcome back to Ground Zero with Lewd Dolphin. But I feel like you're definitely doing presence. I kind of want green to get another power card so that we could figure out what to do with the explorers in the north. So let's have you gain a power, and let's start with a minor power. There's a thing that deals with explorers. There's a defend. And we could do a defend in mountains and jungle, which is good for the time being. And that's a fear card. And fear works differently, you know, as we've said, so I can't just get to the next terror level. I need to, you know, There's no things, yeah. So what are the options here? So we want to get moon and plant and water and some earth at some point. You don't start with earth. You have the other symbols, but not all on the same card. Well, Dark and Tangled Woods gives you moon and earth and plant. And Song of Sanctity gives you sun and water and plant. Those are two really good cards, I think, in terms of elements. Probably Song of Sanctity a little better, although I guess it depends on which direction you're going with green. Do you want to do damage or do you want to defend? And you have two of each innately. So innately you could reach the second level with both. With your default cards. So what do we want to do then? You could do a defense that would help in the next turn. It wouldn't help right now. Song of Sanctity, however, is a slow power that also pushes explorers, and it could remove a blight. I probably want Dark and Tangled Woods because that could give fear, and we can use it to defend next turn. That's my thinking. You can also add a presence to jungle or wetland. And I probably want you to go along the energy track in order to get the plant symbols. Because with the plant symbols, you can use your innates a little more easily. Does that make sense, or do we want to push for more card plays because it takes you a little bit to get to the second card play? And with without the second card play, you can't even reach the level 2 innates anyway. Probably actually, I'm going to completely change what I just said. I'm going to go for the card play. And I can't get a sacred site in either land, but if I put a presence here this turn and a presence there on the next turn, you could stop the Ravage. Now, with Dark and Tangled Woods, we could do the defend on the next turn in the Central Mountains. When they build a town and then they attack, the 2 Dahan will take care of that. So this land is dealt with there. I don't need Dahan there, or I don't need my presence there. I'm already range 1 from there. This mountain is going to build a city and then we'll Ravage. It doesn't have a blight in it, so I don't necessarily need to worry too much about that Ravage happening. There's no Dahan there either, so I could just let that be a sacrificial rampage. The mountain down here is a bit... It is also... It has no blight, but it does have a Dahan, but if I do River's Bounty, we can move that Dahan out of there. But it's also going to build a city, so if I could defend there, which... I can't really do that easily. Yeah, because your innate isn't giving defense and your defense isn't happening there. So it might be better to just pull that Dahan out. Do I want to have 2 sacrificial blights on turn 2? I don't think I want to, but... Oh, but I could push a town with this, and I guess that's even better. Okay, so we can push the town they build there, and then this blight doesn't happen. Okay. Okay, so we want you to be able to play 2 cards and probably have enough energy to play more cards on your next turn or subsequent turns. So River's going to want to add 2 presences. And we're still trying to figure out where to put Green's presence. So we don't really need Green to be in a place where a Ravage happens just yet. It might be better to put Green in a land with Blight, so we could stop a Ravage there if needed. If we could get a Sacred Site in the Blights, then we could stop the Ravage there if worst comes to worst. So let's get a presence there for Green. For River, I think that you kind of want River to have Sacred Sites in all of the wetlands, like, as soon as you can. That might be a good bet for River. Your cards don't care about sacred sites. Your innate does. But the only one that's range 0 is the River's Bounty. We do have a spot 2 bounty, at least for now. So let's get this second one up here so we can move into this wetland at some point in the future. And now you have 2 card plays and 2 energy. So let's do a wash away. This can allow us to stop a build in the next turn or to stop... Well, okay, so that gives you the innate. The innate also pushes the town. And it doesn't have to be wash away per se. I could do Boon of Vigor, maybe. Or Flash Floods, but... that's only going to do 1+1 damage. I mean, that could take out... I mean, we could use that to take out an Explorer, although this is fast. We could use that to take out the town here. Or no, we can't. We could take out the Explorer. We can't take out the town. Shoot, it's coastal. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me right now. Yeah, it might make better sense to use Wash Away. We'll use Massive Flooding for the mountains, and then we can use Wash Away based on what the Explorer does, I think. And then for green, we need to save the Dark and Tangled Woods for your next turn. Gift of Proliferation is always great. This will always target River, but we can get River super built up super early. You could also overgrow in order to get more. Your presence is like Gift of Proliferation is selfless. Overgrow is selfish. But Fields Choked with Growth also pushes towns. And Stem the Flow of Fresh Water is also towns. But this damage card doesn't make sense unless we're dealing another damage somewhere else. And are we worried about a town after the build? We have this mountain dealt with. East Mountain, yeah, that's what we were gonna say. We're gonna sacrifice. So it doesn't. I don't think it makes sense to do Fields Choked with Growth. So do we want to be selfish or selfless? Neither of them is going to give better options for River on the next turn. So maybe we could be selfish and get a second card play on your second turn. You could also choose to get Fear off of that, but Fear is a little weird in this game. We don't even need to really worry about Fear, actually. We could just do 3 Rituals of Terror and win the game. We don't have to generate Fear. That's the other perk of Rituals of Terror. Alright, so I think that resolves our first turn. So, where do we want to add a presence? That's the only option other than... spread might make more sense, because if you have a spread of not sacred sites, then we could always make them into a sacred site during your power phase. If it's a jungle or wetland, it's easy. If it's not a jungle or wetland, we would have to go with the +1 card play option, but we always have that option as long as you're spread. But I guess for now, going for jungles and wetlands makes sense. Let's get you in that land, I would say. And if we go for add a presence and +1 card play, if we can get to that plant symbol, we would be able to get to your innates a little more easily. So let's get you towards the plant symbol then. All right. I feel like I'm playing slower than I did when I played with John the past 2 weeks, but sacred sites for River to push invaders in for Nom Nom. They're exploring in the jungles. All right, that's good. We have some jungles spread here. So we have this blight in the south jungle, so we do need to be especially mindful of that. But we want to get rid of the town that's currently in the southeast jungle. Let's push you into the wetland there. because I think it's not going to really stop the site they have on the southeast mountain, but it at least focuses all of them into one place. So like with the stem the flow of fresh water, if we have them in the sands, it's not a wetland though, but we could do 1 damage to each someday. Your leveled up power here could push up to 3 towns, so actually, yeah, getting all the towns focused in one place might make the most sense. Alright, so that takes care of the southeast mountain. So currently we have to do a defend in the central mountain in order for the Dahan to not be destroyed or for the blight to not happen. Dark Entangled Woods would allow us to defend there, and it gets us a moon and earth and a plant, which doesn't help with getting to the 2 water, but we could get that if you use your 2 zeros here. Yeah. So your next turn you would have 3 card plays with the +1, so yeah, you'd be able to reach the defend 4, which I don't think actually matters at all, but you'd be able to repeat this power twice, and we could take out a town with this. Or repeat this power once, which would, yeah. Okay, cool. No, you'd have only 1 moon. We'll worry about that next turn. Yeah, for instance, actually, I could push these towns in the central wetlands to the west wetlands, and now there's no coverage on any of the southeast regions. So if they explore like in, well, they can't explore in the mountains or jungles, and that's actually what most of them are, so that does nothing for me. But subsequent turns would be really nice. Stopping a build would be a bit better, right? Gathering Dahan, pushing explorers. I think we really need to push this explorer out of the Blight Land. And this Ravage and that mountain is just going to happen, so we could just put that explorer there, I think. That stops the jungle build. River's Bounty, do we want to gather Dahan in a certain place? Well, is there currently a place where we have both of our presences? There is the north central jungle. Does that make sense? They're gonna build there and we would have to deal with them on the next turn, but we could push them away. Yeah, so maybe we'll just have our ritual site be right here. And we'll bring the Dahan out of this jungle. And we have a Dahan, baby. Alright, we need 3 more Dahan there. Alright, so what is River going to do? Energy, 1+1 damage to coastal. Even though you wouldn't gain a power card off of it, if you do double presence, you're going to gain a power card whenever you reclaim. And I feel like after a certain point, River's going to be playing River's hand very often. So getting double presence plays early on, and then, you know, going to reclaim route with Rampant Green helping with adding more presence would help. So if we do double presence, you wouldn't get an extra card play on your next turn though. But if we do double of both presence and card play, you wouldn't have any benefits this turn off of that. I think, so Rampant Green's gonna do the extra card play route, I'm pretty sure. so you can play 3 cards, and you have enough energy to play a 1. Actually, you'll have enough energy to play anything right now, so that's good. So where do we want green to go next? We need presence. We need more presence in this jungle, so probably putting it. Well, we can already do that with the always. So let's take a step back. Hello, Nisage. Two presence from card plays will give me 3 card plays next turn, but I would need energy in order to really make the most of that. But I don't know. I guess I'm getting 2+2 energy, so I'm probably fine in that regard. I want that plant symbol. Where do I want that plant to go? Does this need to be? This is range 1, so that's fine. We could put you in this mountains, and then we can add a presence. Yeah, we want to be able to play 3 cards, so we'll put that there. We have 3 presences there, so we can do that part of the ritual. The ritual requires 3 Dahan per player, so we need 6 Dahan in there. River cards are cheap. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, shut up, John. Let's get you into that wetlands there. This is the next one's range 1, so I want to be able to reach that wetland someday. So if I put it here, I'll be able to do it the next time I can add a presence that one space away. But currently this jungle right here is going to be our ritual of terror spot. So that is going to be where bad things happen to the explorers. Her plays her hand, its hand, their hand. Their hand is my hand. We need to play Dark and Tangled Woods to defend the mountain. So if we need 1 moon and 1 plant, all of your cards give plant. We can do one damage to a city or a town twice. We could use that to destroy a town. If we combo it with Stem the Flow of Fresh Water, we can destroy a city. That's also range 1 of a sacred site, which I should have been more mindful of. I guess there's things here we could attack, at least if they build the town in that jungle. That's something to think about. We could also defend there someday. But if I play like those cards, then I have defend 4 and 1 damage per. So I'd need to actually play another moon for that to work, right? Yeah, to do 1 damage twice. So those are the 2 moons. I wouldn't get to the defend 4, but I don't need the defend 4. So this gives a presence from river. This gives the defend that we need. So I think pushing a town should be good enough. Although that... Well... Do I want to deal damage to a city or a town, ultimately? They're building in the jungle. I mean, I could take out a town with the damage clause. I can, and I have to be, that's range 0. So actually, yeah, well, that doesn't matter. We can do it either or. I could push a town somewhere else. That's range 1, so you could reach... Yeah, so this jungle's not building, and these 3 are building. But yeah, that should be fine. You're doing 1 damage, plus 1 to a coast. You can reach this jungle, so you can actually take out that town there now. And you can push a town yourself. So I think we should be equipped to deal with whatever they do now. That will deal with whatever they build. Or, yeah. Alright, so Gift of Proliferation. That Reclaim 1 is tempting. The city isn't an important place. Well, they're going to explore in either the wetlands or the sands next. But, yeah. Reclaim 1, probably. Even though you're going to reclaim all next turn, we can get you up the card play route really quickly. And then we can put you in that wetland. Alright, now we have all the wetlands covered by river. Oh, this is fast. I guess I forgot about that. But we can stop a build with this, so it's not bad. 1 energy per power card they played this turn. Well, that would be a lot of energy to green. That's 3 power cards he played. It's only 1 energy to yourself. Do you need that 1 energy? You're gaining. You have 2. You're gaining 2, and your cards are cheap. So Boon of Vigor on green makes the most sense to me. And then we can stop a build, and I feel like probably stopping the build in that jungle makes the most sense because we can deal with these 2 jungles easily ourselves. So defend 2 has to happen in that land. Oh, you have defend 2. Actually, ooh. Ooh. Does this change anything? I don't think it does. We could stop the blight if we did a 3 and 2 over here, but we wouldn't stop the blight there if I did that. So actually, none of this makes a difference. If I had dealt damage there, that would... I'm just thinking. So that was defend 3. We did 1 damage, right? We did that to take out a jungle. If I did that damage instead on this... If I did it instead on this mountains, we would take out the town there. We wouldn't need to defend there. And then we could do defend 2 and defend 3 here and stop the blight here. But it would not stop the build in this jungle. I feel like stopping that build's more important. Allow the build. I'll allow it. We gotta save that presence for Rituals of Terror. Invaders explore in the sands. Oh yeah, we had a blight down there as well. Ugh, 2 blight already. I realized that, but I also felt like I couldn't do that much. Alright, push a town. Damage to a town and to a town. And push a town. Unfortunately, we don't have good coverage of this sands here from either player. So we're gonna have to figure out how to deal with that eventually. You can only push towns. You can only damage towns. You could push an explorer. So if we want to stop a build, we would need to use this power to do that. The Ravage in the jungles, we could stop by pushing or damaging towns out of them. So pushing... I guess it doesn't matter if I'm pushing from one or the other. You'll only be able to destroy a town with this, so... I could do the defend. I mean, if you reclaimed your next turn, you'll also gain a power card. If you reclaim, you could do a defend here to deal with that, and the Dalhan would take care of the invaders, no problem. But there's not really a good place to push a town otherwise. I don't think. The only other towns are in this wetlands. But yeah, so let's see. Let's push this town into this wetlands because this is nom-central. And then we can do damage to this town twice. You have a push and explore. So stopping a build would work for that. We can get rid of that build, we can get rid of that build. Yeah, having all the towns grouped together and then being able to massively flood it would be ridiculous, right? You won't be able to do that next turn, no. But you could do that maybe 2 turns from now, and then that wetlands is nom-central. which is a better place? That has a Dahan, so we could probably defend a subsequent turn. So let's push this into that wetland. Just group all of them into that evil wetland. All right, turn 3. You have to reclaim. In doing so, you can gain a power card. Let's go minor. You would like sun, water, and maybe an earth. 2 of these give you water. 1 of them gives you sun. That sun also gives you earth. Replace an explorer with a Dahan. But none of your cards give moon, so you can't replace a town with a Dahan. But hey, that's cool. Remove a blight or push up to 3 Dahan. 1 fear, 1 damage, destroy a Dahan, +1 damage in a jungle or sands. Each Dahan deals damage to a different invader or push 3 Dahan. Well, we have a number of Dahan things here, that's clear. Call of the Dahan Ways. I like that card a lot, and it gives you water. Removing blight could help, but it's as long as we can stop all the blight from happening, but we're not getting blight this turn, so that's not a big deal. We do have a land with Dahan in it, but that's going to, or an invader with Dahan, but that's going to ravage and die this turn, and that's a slow power. Building in the sands, so we could, well, I guess it could also deal with whatever explorer you do. So yeah, to Call of the Dahan Ways, I think makes sense. You could play that, and then you would have to play 2 sun cards, which could be River's Bounty. And, I don't know, maybe that is a thought. This powers this up, and now it's 2 damage and push up to 3, which is really nice. So if they explore in the wetlands, this is tier 2 next, so actually it's going to be all up in the air, whether it's coastal or any land. I think green is going to reclaim. That's also going to give you a power card. So actually, let's, you know, be smart. If you're going to gain a power card, let's have you gain a power card while we haven't done anything else, so we can change our mind here. Drift down. So what you're looking for is plant, moon, water. That's Gift of Power right there. Because what are the other ones? Plant, moon, earth. Yeah, every single element is Gift of Power. Gift of Constancy, though, is really good. They would slow down the need to reclaim cards every turn. But you would have to spend a card play to get that. And that doesn't give you a plant, so that kind of stifles you a little bit. Plus it gives you a sun, which you don't care about. It gives you an earth, but you don't need too many earths. Drift down into slumber gives a defend that is better or best period in jungle and sands. River loves getting extra minor powers. I mean, yeah, because then you would have extra card plays. And by you, I mean River. You, River, would get benefit the most from that. Gift of Living Energy is lots of energy, but neither of these guys really need energy right now. Well, let's think about Gift of Power. Let's think about Call of the Dahan Ways. So you're also gaining an energy off of this route as well. So actually River doesn't really care about energy period right now. But if River gets a lot of minor powers off of Rampant Green and also a bunch of energy from this, then River could consider major powers a lot more easily. Which is nice. Add a presence to jungle or wetland. You can't reach... Oh, I'd have to click that. You can't reach that. Oh, you can reach that. How can you reach that? That's not range. Oh, it is range 2 because it's going through the jungle. Okay. We need to be able to reach the sands somehow. Do I want card plays? Probably. You're not getting that much energy. You also don't need much energy, so maybe we'll just stick with card plays. Get you there so you can see the sands a lot more easily, because they're going to build there unless we deal with you right now, which you can't do just yet. So we have a sands guy here. We have a lot of sand stuff there. How can we best deal with, say, that city? Stem the flow of fresh water deals 1 damage and 1 damage, which would be enough, well, enough to take out a town. We need an extra hit in order to take out a city. It doesn't give a moon, and you only have 1 more card play. So if you add a moon card to that, say that card, you would get the damage to the town or the city. We don't need the defense this turn, though, so we don't need to play a water card per se. What is River going to do? 3 card plays. If there are 3 waters and 2 suns, we can get to 2 damage and push 3, which helps deal with all the stuff that's happening. So, John said save flash floods for the bottom sands down there. Because, yeah, they're going to build a town, and then you could do flash floods to take out that town. So they're going to build a town in that sands there. If we take out the city with Green's powers and we push a town out of it, we don't have to worry about that ravage. The other build is happening in the northern sands. That could be dealt with easily on the next turn with Dark Entangled Woods or All Enveloping Green. The ravage is happening in the jungle. Yeah, we're not worried about this ravage here. And we also, yeah, so we're not... We don't need Dark Entangled Woods. Do we want to proliferate? Would proliferating wouldn't get us, or it would give us a moon, right? So you would still be able to damage a town or city, which would be enough to stem. Do you want more card plays on the next turn, or do you want a minor power? Probably minor power. Playing 3 cards, yeah. So if you gain a minor power this turn, we could avoid you reclaiming next turn. So yeah, let's go with the minor power then, because this is a slow turn, so we don't need to worry too much about what's happening. So do we need to do 2 damage and push up to 3? Yeah, because we could deal effectively with whatever happens with the Explorer, I'd say. So but we also could save this 2 damage and push 3, but it's slow is the problem, so it wouldn't help with whatever they explore and then the ravage in the sands. Yeah, so no, not that one. 2 suns have to be those, and then another water, and it doesn't matter which one it is. There's a possibility we can get you a moon card with the minor power, so we probably want to go with Wash Away, so that you could then next turn replace the town with a Dawn. I don't have to save it because River has Reclaim 1. You're right. Hello, Reclaim 1. And with that Reclaim 1, you would be able to have 2 suns on your next turn. And if you get a 4th card play, you could even maybe get this powered up, but you'd have to gain a sun and a moon and a water for that to work. So, okay. So gather Dahan and gain stuff. Boon of Vigor. So I was trying to play this card right now to target this. I can't target the sands right now. I could target the sands over in the northwest sands. I could just take out the Explorer in that sands with Flash Floods. It's a bit of a waste of the +1, but if I reclaim this card, it doesn't matter. I don't think green needs that energy because he can already play his card there. So let's just start with there. Let's do the slow power, sorry, the fast power phase. We don't need to do the defend 2, but we could do that damage. There's actually not much happening here. Hit the city twice with Flash Floods and finish it off with green's power. Yeah, that's another possibility, because then you would be able to entirely stop that Ravage. We'd have this town, you could push it. That sounds better. Why'd you go over there? Yeah, so just to double check yet again, yeah, there's no Ravage that destroys things. Okay. Building in the sands. Invaders are exploring jungles. Okay, that's interesting. So since we already have concentrated our efforts in the jungles, that means we don't really have to worry too much about this jungle thing. You can only... Yeah, you didn't need to repeat that. So, 1 damage to each. Oh, I was thinking this is 1 damage twice. No, I needed actually... Well, I guess that works. I could now take out that... Oh, that's range 0. I can't actually hit that. Oh. Ow. I could push you and then be able to damage you. Do I want to... do that? I guess, we have 2 damage and push here. We have push 3 here. We have River's Bounty. Well, River's Bounty, we want Dahan here. Let's gather the Dahan. We don't need to worry about... Let's take 1 from each just to make sure there's lands with Dahan. We need spread of Dahan for one of these powers that can only target Dahan lands. Now we have 6 Dahan here. We have 3 spirits, or 3 presences. We can do the Ritual of Terror. I can perform the Ritual of Terror right now. We have 0 fear cards, so I feel like we're not in a major rush to do that. Not until we have fear cards. I mean... Well, we certainly have to think about whether we need the presence here for that to work, but I feel like until we have fear cards to profit off of the Ritual of Terror, we're not... I mean, there's something to be said, like, if we know we can win the game off of that ritual, but we're not. We'll be in the stage where we need no cities and no towns, and we have lots of towns and cities. Wash away plus damage sounds good. So let's see, Ravage in that sands. River can't reach that right now. Ravage in that sands. I feel like this is a wasted damage right now. One damage to 1 town, but that's range 0. If I can push you into a town with wash away, or sorry, if I push you into a rampant green land and then do the 1 damage there, I'd feel a bit better about that. But I also have Gift of Power, so let's rewind. And then let's do Gift of Power to see what my mainer powers are. So water is ideal. Sun would allow for a tier 3, but we can't get that next turn anyway. But drought, you would have 3 sun next turn. You could destroy 1 city with this. Destroy 3 towns. Deal 1 damage to each town city. Add a blight. Destroy a city. Well, the places where there's cities already have a blight. That would cascade, and then we'd be at an unhealthy island. We'd be Blighted Island. That'd be bad. Destroy an explorer. You may instead destroy a town. Range 0, though. Gives you no sun, gives you a water, but would you have 3 earths? You don't have any earths in your hand right now. Even if you reclaimed 1, you wouldn't have enough. So this isn't too exciting, but it is something we could replace with a major power on a future turn. I mean, like I'm because the problem is I could use drought to just destroy all the towns in this wetlands right now. I could also do that with 2 damage to each invader, which I can't do right now anyway. But adding a blight is a bit of a sacrifice for that to happen. I could also just blight the island on a turn we expect to win and use this to destroy the city that we need to destroy, but I don't know. They're building in the jungles on the next turn, so if you do Shadows of the Burning Forest next turn, you could push an explorer in a town off of a blighted land, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, you're definitely going to be playing this card next turn. I could trigger Steam Vents with my 3 Earth. River does not have 3 Earth. This is a river card, not a green card. It'd definitely be a bit better for green, of course. I don't know, maybe just going for gnawing root biters because we keep the pushing game happening. Because as long as you reclaim a sun card because they already have water on it, you can still trigger your tier 2. It would have been nice to be able to have a sun and a water for the tier 3, but that's not happening, so. Alright, so what does that mean then? So the problem was Creeper's Tear into Mortar is range 0, so I can't use this to clean off the town here. I could still use the stem to flow of fresh water there, that makes sense. Unless I want to push a town into there, but I can't. Do I have 2 pushes? I do have 2 pushes. But doing 1 damage to each isn't going to take out all those towns. So I think I have to use Wash Away in some capacity. Yeah, if I do Wash Away to push this town into that wetland and this explorer into that wetland. And then I use Massive Flooding to push the town from this sand. Or no, this is damage right now. Oh, right. Okay, well, might as well do that. And then push that explorer, which actually doesn't matter for the damage to a town. That takes care of 3 of the sands. The 4th sand we can do on the next turn. So then we could do the damage there to take out that town. Alright, so now that town that was hit is now gone. That's good. River's Bounty, we could do this thing again. We can now do the Ritual of Terror. And actually we do have that fear card now. So it might be a good idea to do that. We have used all the powers. Do we need those presences there to do actions on the next turn? Well, we already have River's Sacred Site. So River doesn't really care too much. That's range 1, yeah, so that's not too big of a deal. Oh yeah, were any of those cards moon cards that I was looking at? I don't remember if they were. I don't want to rewind. I guess I could look at the discard, right? Shadows of the Burning Forest was moon. It would push out of the jungle as well. So actually, yeah, let's get that card. Let's rewind yet again. I kind of want to have that second moon to add more Dahan. So let's see, what was that thing we were doing? This wash away into here. Massive flooding, although it didn't really do what I wanted. Push that explorer there, damage there. River's Bounty there. This is the third time I've used River's Bounty this turn. Okay. But, might as well just use the Ritual of Terror, right? Even though it's only one fear card. Just because it progresses us, and we could start building on the next ritual, because this is going to push all the Dahan away. It's going to push them evenly into all 6 of the lands. I guess the question is if they ravage the sands, but that doesn't matter. And the build in the jungle doesn't matter. Leave the explorer to die versus Dahan. Actually, yeah, I guess that's the thing. We have to... Yeah, we don't need to do this right now because the explorer's going to die to the Dahan. I don't know, it's not, because it's 2 turns until that explorer would die. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Not that explorer. This explorer. So we're not going to push. This is the 4th time I've used River's Bounty this turn. Okay, so... Yeah, let's go ahead and just do it. Ritual of Terror. And we have to spend energy from spirits. Let's do 1 from green and 2 from river. And we have to destroy all these sacred sites. So now we get to the next terror level and we resolve our fear card. Invaders not build in lands for Dawn outnumber. I probably should have actually done this during the slow phase, huh? Or during the fast phase, because a lot of these actually are defends and slows, or defends, or yeah, okay, yeah, I should have waited until the fast. Okay, well, can't go back. We revealed the fear card. That would have maybe done something, but okay. So you're getting a reclaim 1. You do not need to reclaim. So it's probably double add presence, get that extra card play. Maybe push you up to card play level 5? Is that too greedy of me? Well, you're gonna get energy off of that, so yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, what are you gonna do, green? You probably want extra card play. And if you add a presence, because that also adds a presence, we can get you to 4 card plays. You could play your hand. That would actually give you level 3 of here. You would not get 3 water. You'd only have 1 water. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Okay, Ravaging Sands. You have a defend card. That defend would take care of the Explorer and Dahan there. Okay. The Ravage in the other sands doesn't matter. That Explorer is dying to Dahan. The building in the jungles. You can push a town. You could push an Explorer and a town out of a jungle, so that's really good. You'll be able to replace a town with a Dahan. That's really good. You can reclaim. You would like to reclaim a Sun card. Damage to coastal or gather Dahan. We need to actually get back to that Ritual of Terror level at some point. So what is a good place for the next level of Ritual of Terror? You still have this Explorer over there too. But if you do Flash Floods, you could take out that guy. That's the only coast that matters. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Currently the next best place that has both presences and at least 1 Dahan is this wetlands over here. Already has 2 presences and 2 Dahan, so we could work towards building up there. So you want card plays. This is in... Oh, this is anywhere, right? So your other thing is jungle or wetland. So we could add your presence off of that into the wetland. Do we need to prevent a ravage or a build? We could... Well, we can't really do that. We could stop the build in that jungle, but I'm actually not worried about that. I feel like because they've not been doing much in the wetlands, we've been benefiting a lot in this game. But what spread do we need for green right now? You already see, and this is range 1, so you can already see that land. Range 1, range 1. You can already see all the lands. So it doesn't really matter here. We need to get you to a sacred site, I'm sure. Well, I guess this matters here, right? If you're gonna get to that tier 3, we need you to be able to deal a damage to a town or city thrice. And that's range 0. So kind of just want to throw you into... I'm gonna throw you into this... into that mountain, because then I could take out a city with that. If I choose to, I could also choose to not worry about that. And I need to add presence here. Yeah, I'm not going to add that card play yet, because I can do that during the next turn. Yeah, and then you'll play your hand. So you have a damage to town or city thrice, a defend 2, push a town, add a presence, defend. Oh, but you can't see that sands with this. Oh. We can still see it with this, so actually the Dark Tangled Woods doesn't do anything. I would need that to reach the next level, so I guess I could table that if I need to. Yeah, I forgot that was mountain and jungle only. You're reclaiming 1, you need to get that presence here. You're doing double presence anyway, though. Ah! Yeah, that is a sacred site, isn't it? Okay. That's right. Okay, we can do that. Because we're not rushing towards that Ritual of Terror this turn. So now we can see it with that. Okay, good. So river, we could put the... So these are both range 1, right? Is there any land you can't see? You can't see that sands. You have Green's land covered better than your own land. I could put a presence there with the fast power. You're right. I could also do it in this land as well. I could also just gain fear, but who knows what I need most. Yeah, let's put the presence here so that river can see that sands. And I want to go the energy route because I don't need the 5th card play. Or do I want the 5th? If I get 5 card plays next turn, can I afford that? If I reclaim Flash Floods, that's 3 energy. I'd have 0 energy plus 2. I'd have little energy. Not Call of the Dawn Ways. River's Bounty gives me energy, so actually no, I don't need energy. Okay. Anything about sacred sites anywhere? This is range 1 a sacred site. But your wetlands covers most of that except for actually that same sands. So I guess in the interest of just having sacred site coverage, let's put that there. And then the next question is, what do you want to reclaim? Because if you play these cards, you would need a sun card. River's Bounty is a sun, Flash Floods is a sun. Do I need to deal with that Explorer before they build, or can I wait on that and just gather and add Dahan? You already have the 2 moon you need for Call of the Dahan Ways. We can push off of the jungle with this, so actually we can deal with that explorer with this, but we also have a bunch of other things to deal with. Your innate will do 2 damage and push 3, so we're not really too worried about that there. That does a push. We probably could just do River's Bounty, and that would give me an energy and avoid spending 2 energy, and then next turn I could do a super turn. So then I have the tier 2 there, and I have the upgrade there. All right, let's try that. So Boon of Vigor. I mean, I feel like it still makes sense to do that on green. Yeah, because 4 cards. Defend we need to do there. We can do Gift of Proliferation here. Yeah, and now you have no choice but to go off of energy track. So let's... You have a bunch of coverage right now. Is there anything that's range 0 that we need to worry about? Mountain Jungle is range 0. Yeah, and actually you don't have much jungle coverage. Let's put you... And which one is this? This is range 1 of Sacred Site. So I feel like that land we could deal with the best. We could also defend there. This land we have to deal with in some capacity. I'm gonna put it here just so I could see that with what I need to. Do I want to go for more fear instead of adding presence? I can get closer to that plant. I do want that next level plant. I feel like, I don't know, maybe that doesn't make sense. Mountain Jungle defend 3. Well, this is just fear for this turn. I guess I was trying to decide if I was going to use this level up, but I guess I did decide on that. Let's get fear. Add a presence. Where do we want the presence to go? We probably want you to have better Sacred Site coverage so you can defend more easily with this. This, however, is range 0. So where do we want to deal damage to take out the city? We already have that in that land, so we don't need to worry about that. So I guess let's just put it here. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. All right. I'm not doing a good fear game this game, but I feel like I have good control of the board. And I don't really need a good fear game this time because I'm not leveling up based off of fear. Destroy that Sacred Site to prevent that build. That would take out a town. But I think I have lots of means of destroying that town. Or dealing with that town. Invaders exploring the coastal lands. Okay. Well, that's really good for that Sands because that explorer is just dead. It's actually good for both Sands because both of those explorers are just going to die and they're not going to build anyway. Never mind. Never mind. We already did that Ravage. I keep getting confused. It's the jungle. And that actually means that jungle in the north is more of a priority than before. But... This... Oh, this is range. I didn't focus in the right place. Well, I'm still going to do this to take out this city. Because I can. Push a town or push 3 Dahan. 2 damage, push up to 3. Replace a town with a Dahan. Let's see. Well, okay, if that's our Sacred Site place, we kind of have to do this. Let's take it out of there. Out of there. We need a 6th Dahan there. We could get that if we push the Dahan into there. If I push a town into there, I could turn it into a Dahan as well. Okay, I think doing it in this jungle makes sense. I'm doing Explore first, then Town. Then I could turn that town into a Dahan. Then I could Ritual Terror. Let's not do it during the slow phase, though, because it's not good to resolve fear cards in the slow phase. Should be able to get to this 2 damage clause. Let's push this town in here. Let's save the blight that could potentially happen here. Actually, no, loot, no. Death by Dahan whenever you can. And then the Ritual of Terror we'll figure out the next turn if we're gonna use. Okay. So that's reclaim, and River's definitely gonna gain a major power. No, Lude, no. All right. Ooh, Accelerated Rot. Before I look at those, I'm sure the chat has already decided what card I'm gonna take. As Neppy Crows says, I'm liking Rot. See, I'm not too familiar with the cards in the game yet. I've seen a lot of them repeatedly. I don't know them off the top of my head. If you said a card just verbally what the name of the card was, I wouldn't know what it is. Unlike, say, Fleet of Foot. But, yeah, so before we make any decisions there, let's see what green is going to gain. I guess green could also gain a major power. You have 5+2 energy. You don't have much energy happening there. Let's give green a major power as well. Okay, so River, we would like Water and Sun, which Rot does. 2 fear, 4 damage, and if you have enough plants, which you could arrange, 5 damage and remove a blight. That might make the most sense in terms of elements because it gives you a water and a sun. And with 5 card plays, you don't really need all of your cards to be water. But let's see. So you don't have moon cards, so +4 fear is not going to happen. 2 fear to push up to 4 is rather lackluster by itself. Mind the targeting restriction on Accelerated Rot. Yeah, it's jungle or wetland, yeah. Which, by the way, we do have a place where there's a bunch of things to hit. By the way. Dahan have 4 fear while in target land. Whenever blight would be added, instead leave it on the card. If you have 4 mountains, Dahan ignore damage and destruction effects. Remove a blight from target or adjacent land. You don't have enough earths for that. Move up to 5 Dahan from target land to any land. Defend 5 in that land. You may first gather up to 3 Dahan if you have sons and heirs and animals. You don't have any heirs, though, so that's not going to happen. Yeah, the only one that I can trigger the extra effect is Rot. And that's a lot of damage and fear that comes from damage. So let's take Accelerated Rot. And actually, before I even take Accelerated Rot, let's see what green has. Because Nappy Rose says jungle hungers always, and that also synergizes well with Green's deck. Destroy all explorers in all towns, destroy all Dahan. If you have 2 moons and 3 plants, destroy a city, do not destroy any Dahan. Within range 1 of a presence in a jungle, while that takes care of that city. Or actually, that... Is that just getting rid of that place entirely for me? It's a slow power, so not really. It's gonna leave a city left. You and target spirit may use each other's presence to target powers. Target spirit gains a power card. You gain 1 of the power cards they did not keep. If you have 2 water and 4 plant, you and target spirit each gain 3 energy and may gift each other 1 power from it. That's funny. You'll be able to get that pretty easily, like the 2 water 4 plant. And this has to target river. Using each other's presence to target powers, well, we already have good coverage there. You gain target spirit gains a power, you gain 1 of the powers they did not keep. You each gain 3 energy, and you may gift each other a power card from hand, so you could swap a power card that benefits the other a little more easily. That's kind of funny. But yeah, we don't really need that targeting as much. Gaining power cards, gaining 1 of the cards they did not keep is really free. Let's see, Blazing Renewal doesn't give me moon or water. It does give me plant at least. 3 fire, 3 earth. We're not going to get that. Target spirit places 2 of their destroyed presence in a single land. That's a lot of damage there. Defend 20. Hello. And you could have that next restriction. 3 fear if invaders are present. Invaders get... No, yeah, it's definitely jungle hungers. You could trade unique powers. Oh my god. That's funny. You're right. That could target unique powers. But yeah, jungle hungers makes sense for you. Accelerated rot made sense for you, except I have to deal with this forget first. So what are you going to play? It's going to be jungle hungers almost certainly. That takes care of that mountain. So that gives you a moon, it gives you a plant. You have 3 card plays, right? Only 3, so you can't get to 3 water if you play that. Do we need that remove a blight? I don't think we do. Do we need that defend? That's range 1 of a sacred site. We do need that defense. We're going to need to... we only need 1 level of defend. We could even use a different card for that, can't we? Yeah, we can defend 3 off of this. Which also gives us a moon. So I don't need that. So what am I going to forget? Let's pull it up this way. How about that? Pushing a town or pushing 3 Dahan. I guess only the Dahan part matters now. Add a presence. Target spirit adds a presence. I mean, we're almost at the point where we don't need... We don't really need river to... Well, you're gonna... If you play rot, that's 4 energy. You're gonna have 2 energy left, and you're only gaining 2 energy per turn now. So maybe you do want that in order to start filling out the rest. You're going to be reclaiming almost certainly for the next several turns. But I don't know. I mean, stem to flow of fresh water is only really useful if it's able to take out a town or city coupled with the innate, but we could get that going. I don't know, maybe it's fields choked with growth. But if I do that, I lose a water, I won't be able to remove a blight. I guess that's not too vital, though. Damage is better than defense, right? Offense is better than defense. Overgrow has seemed like it's... Oh yeah, you're you're... Okay, yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. I don't have many presences left. I could still use it to gain fear, but yeah, there's other things I could do. Okay. You're taking rot. So... Save the plants. Hey DF, how are you doing? Save the mountain because you only have one of those. So that means Flash Floods, River Bounty, Call of the Dahan Ways. Flash Floods is rather silly if you're doing 2 damage to each invader, right? Although I guess that's slow technically, but... And this is fast. Do you need that sun? You get 3 suns elsewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out Flash Floods. Am I still winning Spirit Island? We got some really powerful cards. We just got some really powerful cards. All right, presence off of jungle or wetland. Yeah, you're also taking this, aren't you? And you're gonna get maybe a plant off of that. You don't really need that plant. Maybe you want a 4th card play. Yeah, 4th card play, right? You could play. Yeah, you could play your hand if you did that. Okay. Flash Floods is usually how you finish cities. True. But we're gonna have no cities left in a bit, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, there'll still be a city there. Doesn't matter. This can't target the ass, so we can't get rid of that blight. But we can do stuff with that. Presence to jungle or wetland. Just keep adding to Mother Base. Or I guess we could like try to game this a bit and add 3 presences to a land where Dahan are going to be pushed and then do a 2nd Ritual of Terror right then. But, alright, you're gonna play, let's see, we would like you to... We just need the 1st level of defend off of that. Let's just play stuff and then decide what we're gonna do after that. Oh, those are 4 cards, okay. What does that give us? That doesn't give us higher than defend 2. We don't need higher than defend 2. Do we need Dark and Tangled Woods? That gives us fear. Best to destroy Green's presence. Yeah, you're right, because Green can get them back with his growth. You may optionally use your destroyed blight or destroyed presence. So do we need to do damage to Mountain Sand? Well, Creeper's Terror into Mortar and Jungle Hungers is going to take out even... Yeah, we could even use that to take out the city they build on this turn. We do have Ravages in the jungle, so this build's not going to happen. So we still have 4 Explorers. I need all the moons for green. Do I need all the moons? No. He only needs 3 of the moons. We can take out one of those. If there's a card here that makes sense. But do we need this part here? You still have that. That's just 2 fear. The first time you played Rituals of Terror, you won without ever using the ritual because you just got rid of everything on the board, right? Could we just do that this turn? Well, there's gonna be a bunch of cities here. That's the problem. Because we got rid of one of the cards that stops a build, by the way. Swap out Gift with your blue power for blight removal. Do I need that? I mean, I just want River to gain bunches of cards so that we could just keep gaining major powers off of that, but I don't know. Green's also not gaining cards. Well, I guess he is when he reclaims cards. I would need that back. Proliferation or a blue card. Oh, but if I do that, I won't have 4 moons. Or 3 moons. So swap out Gift of Proliferation or a blue card. But I won't have the Blight. I don't care about the Blight. There haven't been any blighting since the first Ravage. Play all 3 blue powers. Oh, am I a dummy? No, that doesn't give me enough moons. Like, I would rather do a damage to a town than remove a blight. Or damage to a city. Like, if I can take out that city, I feel like I'd be really happy. And actually, if I take out this city, and then we perform the Ritual of Terror, then we win, right? So all I have to do is take out the city they build here. I could even perform the Ritual of Terror first, and then take out the city that they build there, or they might not even be able to build there. So yeah, I don't need to worry about that. So 1 damage, 3 times would do that. So I need to get a moon back. So then it doesn't matter what I get off of this. So let's just take that. Like, why focus too much about why focus too much about min-maxing when you can just win the game, right? We might as well get River to deal a bajillion damage, right? So that gets you that tier there, and then we could Call of Dahan Ways. That doesn't give you enough moons, though. Getting the moons would require me to lose the mountain or the sun, which wouldn't get me the tier 2, so actually I don't care. Need a plant to get Rot's Threshold. You're right. I need that plant. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to be able to do what I want. But it's okay. 9 damage is certainly better than 2 damage to each invader, right? As long as there's fewer than 5 invaders. Wash away, push up to 3. 2 fear, push, yeah, whatever. We're gonna win, so I don't need to worry too much. Get a bajillion energy. Add a presence wherever you want it, River. Let's Ritual of Terror it up. If I do the Ritual of Terror, they're going to expand into that jungle. I guess I'm not really 100% equipped for that jungle thing. I could defend. Actually, if I defend, I'm not worried, right? That's the only place where, yeah, where a Ravage matters. So let's perform the Ritual of Terror then. True. Let's just make green spend all this green. Is so sinister right now. All right, so each player chooses a different land and removes up to 2 health's worth of invaders per presence there. Huh. Well, I think because all the lands where there's super presence is not very important. Stopping builds would make the most sense. So do that. Do that. And we can push you somewhere. There's not really a good place to put you, I guess. We'll put you here. Make them suffer. Oh, you know what? I should have done this first. No. I can't rewind now. I already did the ritual. No. You don't even have a sacred site. Oh, you do. Defend there. It doesn't matter. We're gonna win. I don't care about that. I should have remembered that I'm gonna lose a sacred site if I do that. Or, well, I could have saved Green's sacred site, but I did not pay attention. They're exploring in the mountains for the first time since the start of the game. Alright, and then now we win. And the way we win is, well, there are many ways we could win. So what does rot do? Targets, jungle, or wetland? Let's go ahead and do this over here, because we've been building for this. That was 9 damage. I guess there were 8 health worth of explorers. I could have pushed town into that, I guess, to get more fear, but whatever. I could replace a town with a Dahan, though, in a land that has a Dahan, which would be this one. There's a Dahan friend. Mountain or jungle I could push. So I could push you into there to suffer. Gather 2 Dahan, blah, 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 blah. Do any of these care about things? I don't feel like they do. So the Ravage, that's happening. We have things happening already. Let's just... Oh, this has to be in the land where you exist. Let's just gather these 2. Because we need to, you know, I guess we're trying to maximize our points. That's what I'm doing. 2 damage and push up to 3. Okay, so I could take out that town and move that explorer over there. I could do, I don't want to do Gift of Power in case I make a mistake. 1 damage to each town or city. That doesn't really matter. Yeah, so let's do this just to wipe that place. The jungle hungers just destroyed everything here. And then I could do the damage to that. Oh, poop. Ah, no. Range 0. I forgot about this again. I got so greedy. Okay. Range. Okay, so plan B, game's not over. Am I concerned? Not really. We can circumvent things. Back to rivers and Nate. Oh yeah, that might work still. Well, yeah. We can still do 2 damage. If we do this instead. And let's actually, let's start with Jungle Hunters. Yeah. There we go. But River's Bounty first because we want to maximize points. I still like that I can rewind after the victory. So it's like, rewind. All right, so we have a game plan there. So is there a land that you could do things in? You could take out that town. You don't have a presence in a land that has a town now. And then that 1 damage isn't gonna do anything, so we'll just target here. Yeah. Let's have you gain up power. These look like amazing powers. Encompassing word. That gives you actually all the elements you would want. Actually, literally every single element. Even though we see 2 other spirits. This works really well for River. Alright, and then, yeah, then win the game. Are you happy now? All right, so how many points did we get? We got 43. Cool. Will there be, John, I'm sure that you've been thinking about this or been asked about this, and you're probably tired of getting, you know, questions asked of you instead of sending feedback through this. But like, is there going to be like sort of statistics in addition to this? Like, I could see on here what Dolphin I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Is there going to be a means of adding like number of Dahan survivors 17, number of presences 15? I think you mentioned, yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I think you mentioned that you're going to look into having a score breakdown on here at least. I don't know, because I just, you could eyeball it and see what you have, so I guess it doesn't matter. Number of beetles accidentally crushed by fleeing invaders, 12,582. Winning a game of Spirit Island, priceless. Not everything can be bought with money. For everything else, there's MasterCard. All right, it is 8:51, so this is supposed to be my combo Sentinels and Spirit Island stream. And Spirit Island is a rather long game, so it's probably going to be expected that these kinds of streams are going to be a little longer. So let's go ahead and exit out of Spirit Island. Let's go ahead and get Sentinels running. And let's go ahead and change the information on the sites. I'm going to need to bookmark this eventually. Spirit Island speed rub. Alright, SOTM is this. And I find it so weird on Steam that I don't have to hit any button, it just automatically accepts this. So eventually I will be streaming on the correct store page. For restream, we have to change this, not that. Update titles. Edit this. Sentinels. Oh, the multiverse. Update. For Spirit speedrun. Let's go. Yeah, I feel like that's going to put my flawless winning streak on stream in jeopardy. Okay, so that should hopefully be reflected now on the Twitch page. Yeah, Dolphins Dive Sentinels. Yes, that's correct. All right. What are we gonna play in Sentinels? To be honest, I forgot where I am in the challenge, which, by the way, used to be summer of the challenges. Then it turned into challenge, and now we've completely lapped ourselves, and now we're in challenge. I think we're somewhere in Wrath of the Cosmos, but that's okay. I'll just play whatever today. I guess I'll put it up to the chat. Do you have any requests for a game that you would like to see me play? I will take one hero while you decide on what you would like me to do. What hero am I feeling today? I just took a look, like I saw Akashtria, and that reminded me of a spread of Rampant Green. I guess the analog for River would probably be Tempest. And I like Tempest a lot. I'm gonna take Tempest. And if you want me to play with Akashtria, you can so decide that. But which variant of Tempest do we want? Let's go with Primordial's Tempest. But now chat. What is accompanying Tempest in this match? Viewer's choice. Play in the Spirit Island environment, which is Nexus. At least I'm pretty sure it's Nexus. Tempest is just hanging out in the Nexus right now. Whoa, calm down, chat. Calm down. I'm getting overwhelmed with all of your suggestions right now. There's just so much happening. I can't possibly keep up with chat in any capacity. This is just utterly ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I can't fathom all of these ideas that I'm being handed right now. I mean, I guess what would be like Green's ultimate, like if we're gonna have Tempest, we could also have Green over here, but what would be something resembling invaders, I guess? Grand Warlord Voss? I guess that's the definition of invaders. Alright, so Voss. I'll just hit random. Commodora and Ra. I'm not really feeling that for some reason. Oh boy, Dark Watch team. And supply and demand benchmark. Well, benchmark can give lots of things for Fixer to eat. Let's actually put Fixer after that. And I'm just gonna go with that. If no one else has anything they want to add to this, we're gonna lead with Tempest because Nemesis, right? And then we're gonna have a Dark Watch team here, Dark Watch Fixer following benchmark so that he could play a software that Fixer could eat, and his innate plays a card anyway, so if he plays a software that will just get destroyed anyway, Fixer can eat it. Let's go. My old foe and the puny locals have united. Perfect. All of you in the same place will make for short work. The valor of these people is unrivaled, and your oppression will not persist. We meet in battle. So, what are these people starting with? Tempest has Grievous Hailstorm, Into the Stratosphere, Localized Hurricane, and Otherworldly Resilience. Really good starting hand there. Darkwatch Harpy has 2 Arcane Explosions, and Eldritch Training, and a Harpy Hex. Darkwatch Expatriette has a Quick Draw, Reload, RPG Launcher, and Unload. Supply and Demand Benchmark is a Flyby, Intel Analyzer, Multipoint HUD, and Onboard Cooling Systems. Darkwatch Mr. Fixer has 2 Bloody Knuckles, a Meditation, and a Pipe Wrench. I feel like we have some really strong starting hands. Expatriate might be a bit of an exception, but... And maybe Harpy. I actually can't remember what Harpy had, but... Harpy's a bit confusing anyway. Oh boy, Genebound Guard, hello. Oh boy, double Genebound Guard, well then. And forced deployment right out the gates. Oh boy. Look at all these defended minions and their threat of coming back into play. Huh. This changes everything. I liked this start. So what am I going to do here? First off, do we have ongoing destruction? I don't remember really seeing any. We do have an RPG launcher, but that would sacrifice your card play. Getting rid of that forced deployment would allow for Benchmark and or Darkwatch Mr. Fixer to deal with some minions, but they don't have much innately that will work well for that. I mean, onboard cooling systems, we'll be able to have you play the top card of your deck, and if it's a software that does something, that would be really cool. Which might help. With forced deployment, we could put it on top, but it's just gonna come back out, and then we have to deal with it at that point. Getting rid of it by destroying it, or we could put it on top and discard. Is there a way of having us discard something randomly? I don't think so. No. No discard effects as far as the eye can see. Yeah, 1 Bloody Knuckles is enough to take out 1 Genebound Guard. Can we do better? We could Stratosphere Guard. I could do Otherworldly Resilience and then use base power to play Stratosphere. That way, you take 2 damage off of this, which is nice. And then you could still Stratosphere the guard and have a -1 for other damages. Harpy can play 2 cards. You could flip a control. Deal each non-hero target 2 infernal damage. Deal each target 3 infernal damage. The problem with that is that we're not going to have dealt with forced deployment by the time this would go off. We could also do this during your power, and then you could flip a bird with the power so that this will do less damage to the heroes. You could also use this to get more arcane, it's not arcane, is it? It is arcane. Arcane explosion, yeah. So I'm assuming that's arcane and avian are the symbols, if I recall. That 1 damage isn't going to do much, so Harpy's not really doing much. RPG launcher, yeah. So you can't really have Harpy destroy things on her turn before we do RPG launcher. Yeah, so there's not much that we can really do with Harpy. So I guess it's just Otherworldly and then Stratosphere. And the Stratosphere, this is going to control the next play. But if all he plays is game.Bound Guard, that's a really good turn, right? Especially if we can get rid of the other game.Bound things. It's not really a good turn to play either of those other cards, although, well, yeah, we can always just do it later. We would like to be able to do Localized Hurricane. We could do that next turn, I think. Arcana and Avian. Alright, that's good to know. If I do Harpy Hex right now, I'm not going to really benefit much from this at all. If I do Eldritch Training, I draw a card and use a power, but I don't have any other power other than my innate. I could just play this to flip a bird, use my base power to flip a bird, and then I'll have all Arcana, and then I could use this to wipe the board after we take out forced deployment. And that will be 4 damage to each non-hero target if it's all 5 Arcana. It's good setup, yeah. I'm just thinking I can't get through with the -1. I mean, I might as well do Harpy Hex. Actually, no. Let's start with this, because I'm going to draw a card off of this. And I'm so used to the other Handelabra games now that I'm hesitant to do anything that reveals information. I can't draw a card. I have to decide whether I'm going to draw a card before I do anything, otherwise I can't rewind. No, I'm going to do Eldritch Training first, because I draw a card off of that. And I could actually play Ancient Tome with this power. And then I wouldn't have to play Harpy Hex, which, while it's a good setup, it's not getting through damage reduction right now. But if I do this, and I flip a bird, which I know every time I say that, I always think about someone actually flicking someone off. Reveal cards from the top until 2 ongoing cards are revealed, and then if you have 3 or more... Yeah, so this is perfect. So then this gives me Conjured Aura, which, if I'm going the Arcana route, this will have permanently 3 targets, 1 infernal damage, and when I'm dealt damage, I might flip a token. I could also reveal the top card of 1 hero deck, play a card revealed this way. Oh boy. That's a really good one. I want Swift Summoning. But I don't need its effect right now, it's just the power, whereas Harpy Hex will... Yeah. We'll do that, bounce it there. Great. Alright, so now it's RPG launch. We have to do that. This is not variant Expatriette, so we actually can't play a card off of her innate. We can get a damage boost, but that's not going to help. This is fire damage, so it can't hit the Firesworn. I feel like I'm more explaining in Sentinels than I usually do because because of all of my Spirit Island training. I'm now like super explainy. Alright, I think hardware makes sense, because if I reveal a hardware off of this, I'll either be able to keep it, Or I could use it to do damage. Fixer has double Bloody Knuckles. He's not going to actually need that anymore. Let's take out a game.Guard. If there's something else that we could take out, which we'll figure out. So let's regain the hit point. Let's play the top card of our deck. It is a hardware. Would like to keep that hardware. And that gives me HP recovery. Nice. Nice. Would it make sense for Fixer to have Pipe Wrench or a Style instead? Well, the options are Otherworldly Resilience, which I would rather keep. Ancient Tome, which can play Ongoings. Harpy Hex, which deals damage when a control token is flipped. And with this version of Harpy, obviously control tokens flip more often. It's like the problem with what I had earlier was that I can't get past the damage resistance right now. I could also destroy one of these hardwares, but I'd rather keep the hardwares out because they allow me to fund softwares. We're not going to take out more than one thing. I could try to like Driving Mantis in order to redirect one of these damages. Driving Mantis and Pipe Wrench, I love that combo of cards because that makes Fixer super tanky. Obviously people love things such as dual crowbars that hits for a bajillion damage, but a Fixer that you can barely hit is ridiculous. But the problem is, if I redirect, I'm not going to be able to take out anything. Because it's the first time I would be dealt 2 damage, and the Frost Hound goes off first, and that's not going to work. Actually, Shock Infantry could possibly go off first, but... I want to go setup. I want setup. I'm a major proponent of setup. Because if all you're doing is... Oh, my glasses are on the ground. What are my glasses doing on the ground? They've been on the ground apparently this entire stream. That's weird. Just play Jackhand. If you just keep playing one-shots, you're not really improving your situation. If you're playing setup cards, you might not help with your immediate situation, but you'll be able to help with future situations really easily. I guess I could leave the Gene-Bound Guard, but the problem is we know there's a second one coming out. Can I deal with one or the other? If you do Arcane Explosion, that's going to be 4 damage. 4 minus 2 is 2. We'd be able to take out the first Gene-Bound Guard with that, and then we'd be able to do 3 damage to the second one. So I want to take out the Frost Hound. And John's probably gonna get mad at me. I'm gonna lose Harpy X. I can get ongoings a little more easily with Ancient Tome IMO. Magma's Rage. So what's happening here? Elemental Awakening. If there are 2 spirits in play, destroy this card. At the end of the environment turn, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so that revealed the second one. He says destroying his setup. After this card deals or is dealt damage, put a token on this card. At the end of the environment turn, this card deals the non-environment target with the second highest HP, X fire damage, or X equals the number of tokens on this card plus 1. And I'm kind of interested, like... This is River, right? I mean, I'm assuming that this is supposed to be a subtle reference. I mean, I know that this deck was... the Nexus of the Void is a reference to Spirit Island in of itself, but I assume that some of these cards are supposed to be reminiscent. Oh yes, that is definitely Serpent slumbering underneath the something. That's like, I'm sure that some of these are very subtle references, or maybe more explicit references to Spirit Island things, but it's sort of a one-way crossover. All right. Hey, we can driving mantis this for no effect. We could hit you to add a token. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think I remember hearing about it maybe on a letters page a million years ago. I only listened to the letters page in like the first year, and I've not kept up with it ever since. Does this matter? This is 2 damage. Yeah, let's... I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't want to do the discard there. That doesn't matter. Because, like, you wouldn't be... Yeah, you could have still taken that. That's fine. Leaving Fixer higher is better for redirect purposes. Okay, so Grievous Hailstorm is not going to hit any of the minions, and it's going to hit the Spirit. If I play Localized Hurricane, I can at least draw cards off of it. I can also ping, which is... not super necessary, but might as well do a little bit of damage to the guards. Ooh, Electrical Storm. Free damage. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Probably Arcane Explosion and then flip the bird back. And I don't think... Maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe I could just do Ancient Tome, because you could play Ongoings and get you further set up. Or give you cards for Fixer to eat. Okay, let's get rid of the guards first. And then take out the minions. And then after that, damage doesn't matter. Voss has no more resistance. Now Fixer can redirect this. This is also a nemesis. Fun fact. Okay. Yeah, let's get some options here. Magical Bequest. This also flips birds. Conjured Aura. That was the same thing. Do we have that in hand already? No. That was what we were looking at earlier. That's power. That's effect. Let's do that. Then we get Magical Bequest anyway. Nice. Okay. Would you like... Do you want a guaranteed power that deals damage, or do you want something that might reveal a shotgun but could also reveal 2 ammo cards? I feel like I want to start with getting a guaranteed. I want a guarantee here. And we can arsenal access next turn. If we reveal an ammo, it works. If we reveal a shotgun, that works. If we reveal an assault rifle, that works. But now I don't have to worry too much. Okay. We could put 2 softwares out. We have additional powers. Draw 2, discard 2, play a software. That builds up software. Whenever benchmark would be dealt damage by a non-hero target with 2 or fewer HP. That actually is really powerful in this game. It's a one-way relationship. Spirit Island, the game, is not set in the same universe as Sentinels of the Multiverse. A version of Spirit Island does, however, exist in the Sentinels of the Multiverse universe. Yeah, that sounds right. I remember hearing about that. Let's do multi-point HUD. The 2 Spirit Islands are not identical. The spirit that became Akash Buddha doesn't exist in the Spirit Island game, for example. Ah, Akash Buddha was a former spirit. I never knew that. I could damage Magma's rage. I could also redirect off of Fixer. Here's some advanced strategy for you. If you have Driving Mantis, you can use some ally damage to redirect it. When a Nexus of the Void is destroyed, it takes over another location and turns it into the Nexus of the Void, corrupting the natural forces there and turning them into its guardians. This is what happened to Spirit Island and Sentinels of the Multiverse long before humans even existed. Since the Void is completely antithetical to human life, neither Dahan nor invaders could ever exist there in that version of it, so the events of Spirit Island the game never happened there. Ah. Interesting. So we're not just playing a game of Sentinels alongside a game of Spirit Island, is what you're saying. Which makes sense, but... Alright. Software! Nope. Well, maybe. What does this do? It's draw 4, play a hardware, play any number of software? No. Oh, this is the rearrange card. We do have another hardware, Micro Fabricator. At the end of your turn, you may play a hardware or draw a card. Yeah, let's return all of these to hand. There's no reason not to. And now I believe that if I play onboard cooling systems and then I play a software, this would go off, right? Maybe? Yes. Because it's back in play. Now I can take out Magma's Rage and do more damage. So the spirits in the deck have been corrupted. So this slumbering serpent is almost certainly a reference to serpent slumbering underneath the earth. But it's not exactly that spirit, because it's not the same spirit that exists in Spirit Island. It's an analog of it in this universe, and it's also corrupted. But this one seems friendly, right? Because he only hits villains, so he's still good. And I guess now that I know, I mean, I've looked up serpent slumbering underneath the earth. I know how that guy works because I was interested about that mechanic. Certainly this guy, when it gets powered up, becomes kind of cool. Although not as powerful as the actual serpent slumbering underneath the earth. 3 non-spirit targets with lowest HP, 2 cold damage each. That feels like River's innate power, huh? I mean, it'd be better if it hit everything for 2 damage, but hey, it's still a reference to 2 damage to each invader. All right, so what would you want to do? You would probably want Micro Fabricator, because then at the end of your turn, you can play a hardware, and you do have a hardware left. You didn't play another hardware. Then I may discard a card, which would be beneficial if I have something that reacts to discards, but we don't. Other than this, but that's not the same discard effect. Okay. So what do we want to do here? Set up or destroy? I want to keep localized hurricane at least. Otherworldly resilience at least counters the extra damage part. Conjured aura. I like that effect, and I like Ancient Tome. Prejudice. Now we have an assault rifle, so I could get rid of Prejudice. So now Driving Mantis and Pipe Wrench, and nobody can hit Fixer. If Fixer takes 3 damage, he redirects it, which is really great. And now I can play Bloody Knuckles the next 2 turns and leave Fixer set up. Whenever a non-environment target enters play, deal it 1 melee damage. Oh look, it's the river! Wasn't there supposed to be 2 damage happening? Or was that start of turn? Oh, first time a biome enters play. Okay. I see. And then in Glass Peaks, a non-environment target is dealt 1 damage, so that's great for getting rid of minions. Deal a non-environment target with the lowest HP 1 melee damage. We have a Thorathian there now. Getting in the way. I could slash it and then be able to localize Hurricane it and Voss. And then we would be able to focus our efforts on Voss. Which I feel like is prudent. I could do more setup, but why do setup when I can win the game, right? Especially because I would like to be able to do unadulterated nemesis damage to Voss. Shielding Winds can also help with Fixer. If he's dealt 5 or more damage, reduce it by 2, right? Oh, but then that would be... Oh, but if he's dealt 5 damage, if Fixer is dealt 5 damage, first we reduce it by 2, so it becomes 3. Then his Pipe Wrench reduces it by 1, so now it's 2. You can redirect 2, and you can move that 5 damage somewhere else. Look at how these orderings of effects works really well. Deal up to 3 targets, 1 Infernal. Yes, that and Slumbering or Devouring River is not helpful for us. Fixer got hit. He promised nothing could hit him. That's technically a loss. So we don't need this. That's not really helpful for us if we have any avians, I guess. I guess we could deal 1 damage off it, so it's not that terrible. I was just seeing flip 2, draw 2, discard 2 or more, but that's silly. Draw a card or play an ongoing card and flip an avian. Or random card play, but it'd be better if we had a means of increasing it by 1, and that effect is which one again? It's... I forget which one. Oh, applied numerology. I want that. So I want to keep ancient toming until I can applied numerology, and then I could decide something else. Then I could play 2 ongoing cards. Or draw 2 cards. I can't flip more than 1 avian though, because they put that in words instead of numerals. Let's put Magical Bequest out. I could discard a card. Let's discard Direct Strike, draw Tenuous Focus. And then Ancient Tome gets me Applied Numerology. Uncontrollable Flock. That is playing with fire. I want numerology though, because this also does a reduction, right? The first time each hero target would be dealt damage by a hero target, reduce that damage by 1. Right, Fixer? -1, right? Hey, look, Fixer, redirect this for me, please. Don't reduce it because I need to actually redirect it. There we go. Ooh, imagine double liquid nitrogen rounds on Voss. He's currently doing 4 and 3. That would be 2 and 1. Nice. Okay, you don't have any hardwares. You can get a random one off of this. You do have a power at least, so we could do double power still. So yeah, let's get random hardware. I just like hardware. Hardware's nice. This gives me Legion Core Processor. I may either move software from my trash to my hand or use a power. Move a hardware or software from your trash to your hand. That's good damage. Yes. Shunt energy. And then do the increase. And then play the top card. Do we have software here? We have another hardware. Reduce damage dealt to benchmark by 1. We still have threat neutralizer, but now we can make damage to a target irreducible and increase by 2. That's good. I don't have a hardware in my hand, so let's draw a card. Ooh, we drew a hardware. then I may discard a card. I don't have Inferno Missile Pod in play. And every time I look at this card, I just keep thinking of Dr. Evil going, Inferno Missile Pod. All I wanted were sharks with freaking Inferno Missile Pods attached to their heads. I don't need to discard for this. But now I can play Inferno Missile Pod off of my end of turn play, right? I may play our hardware or draw a card. So I could play this, and it only benefits me. Well, I guess if I discard a card at any point, I could do that, but that's an option. Okay, so Fixer setup. It's Bloody Knuckles time. Could he Bloody Knuckles himself and still redirect it? No, he can't. Does Shielding Winds stop hero damage? Yes, it does. But if I do the reduction... Actually, no, that reduction wouldn't really help. Well, it would stop Fixer from being dealt 5, but we would be able to deal 5 damage with that. But hey. Alright. Bloody Knuckles can go now. We're leaving everyone else set up. Ooh, Harmony. Harmony, Harmony, Harmony. Woo! Shifting biomes. Biomes are indestructible. Void Slave. That stops ongoings from doing things. Reclusive Keeper, that does something. And Slumbering Serpent, which is cool. Wow, look at all these things that just entered play because of everyone. Taiga Burning Bright. Oh boy. Whatever. You regain a hit point. You hit Fixer, who would redirect it. Tempest is hurting. I will just forget about the ongoing issue. Oh my gosh, we're getting so many biomes because they're indestructible. Oh my gosh. Alright, so what's even happening now? Well, alright, so we got a target, so things are going off. So, increase all fire and cold by 1, melee is cold, projectile is fire. Okay, Fixer's okay with that. Increase HP recovery by 1. Damage dealt by Devouring River, Slumbering Serpent, or Void Slave is increased by 2. Devouring River... Did it go off? It did go off. It went off... Okay, it went off the first time. Okay, so it only went off once. But yeah, that was interesting. Plus glass peaks whenever a non-environment target enters play, deal at 1 damage, which is then it's 1 melee damage. Melee is now cold and increased by 1. Oh my god. Reclusive Keeper, the first time a non-environment target enters that play, this card deals that target 2 melee damage, turns the cold increased by 1. Reduce damage dealt by that target by 2 until the start of the environment turn. Oh, poor Quark Drive Translocator just getting beat up. It's like, hey guys, I'm here for the Poe! Hey, Poe, hey! And now if I discard a card, I regain 2 hit points. What? I'm gonna discard because I would like to just randomly regain 2 hit points for funsies. Poor Tempest. Shielding Winds. Oh, right. Yeah, right. Ongoings, right. And I can't really, I can't rewind now because I revealed new information, right, John? I'm gonna play as if that's a rule because otherwise it's cheating. I could have played Aquatic Correspondence, but all of my cards are ongoings, so a lot of my effects are now harder to get out, but that's fine. I would probably have still gambled on the Void Slave. The Void Slave is immune to projectile and melee damage, but Taiga Burning Bright is like, yo dog, I heard you don't like melee and projectile damage. That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna play with that rule in all my future Sentinels games because that's really the fair way of doing it. Deal up to 3 targets, 1 infernal. So Voss, always hit the main leader when you can. Are we going to be able to deal with whatever? Quark Drive should definitely be hit at some point. I'm just wondering whether I'm only doing ping damage. I guess Expatriette has 2 damage, so I don't need to do the ping there. Reclusive Keeper. I mean, Reclusive Keeper is actually really good because it's going to only hit minions and reduce their damage by 1 or by 2, and that basically inerts them, negates them, makes them inert. So ongoing. I can't play an ongoing because it might. What does Void Slave do? If the discarded card is a target, put into play. If not, okay. And there's only 1 target left in the deck, so it's very unlikely. So instead, do I even want to play a card here? Oh, right, it will hit Huge and Immune. You're correct, sir. Flip an Arcane, draw 2 cards. I guess that's fine. That's not terrible. Reveal the top card, either play it or discard it. If I discard it, flip an Avian. So let's do Tenuous Focus. Gives me Huge and Immune. And Harpy Hex. And the top card of my deck is an ongoing. It is limited. I can't play it anyway. That's fair. We have applied numerology now. So I could reveal cards from the top of my deck until 3 ongoings are revealed. I could, if I have 2 or more control Arcana control tokens, I could play an ongoing card, but that doesn't seem too useful. I could put out Huge and Immune, but that's going to. So what was it? Glass Peaks deals at damage. Reclusive Keeper deals at damage. Is that terrible? Well, Voss is always hitting the hero target with the lowest HP. And that's just been Tempest. Poor Tempest. End of turn is what? End of turn, either flip a control token or deal 2 projectile damage. Well, it's a bit tragic because your damage would be destroyed. Oh, did we get? No, we didn't get rid of you. Ah, why have we not gotten rid of you yet? No. Benchmark, I might get the software. Alright, he gets. It's not countermeasures. Ah. Yeah. That one. He might. Alright, I'm gonna play Huge and Immune. I brought my birds to the party. They got hit a lot. I don't want to flip any of my Arcana. I want my Arcana. I will still deal 1 damage because of Tag Up Burning Bright. Let's hit Quark Drive, I guess. That's perfect. Because Assault Rifle is doing 3 damage. Let's see what this gets me. Incendiary rounds and shock rounds. That's just a +1. This deals 1 to everything. I want to keep the Slumbering Serpent healthy. So Voss. I mean, do I need that plus? Whoa, it doesn't matter. It's extra damage to Voss at least, which is worth it. Take out the Void Slave. Great, now I can keep ongoings out. Yay. Take out the Quark Drive Translocator. Now that's not going to be able to put extra cards out. Yay. All right. Use a power. Yeah, let's get that +1 straight up. So I can actually fly by 1,000,000 times. And if I... Snake Boy must live. Do we want to give up power to someone else? Well, that discard effect combos well with Inferno, certainly. I think the best power would be localized Hurricane. But I think it's Flyby. It redirects. Thank you, Fixer. And because of the redirect, I probably don't want to double Flyby because I could combo it next turn again. Or not that one. I'm gonna leave reclusive keeper, not speaker. The reclusive speaker, everyone. Now I welcome to the podium the reclusive speaker. Do I want to play another card? Of course I want to play another card. Shunt energy. I can't redirect this from Fixer, so we'll just stop this. Let's see what our random card play is that might give us a power we want. It gives us auto-targeting protocol. Deal up to 5 targets 1 energy damage each. Or deal myself 1 energy damage, reduce the damage, to deal 6 damage to Voss. Alright, play hardware. And you have one option. The Inferno Missile Pod. Then I may discard a card which funds the Inferno Missile Pod, so I do want to do that. Let's discard an ally matrix. Put it underneath. You're at max hit points. I am dealing 1 target, 1 fire damage X times. Oh look, it's 3 damage. Oh, it's 1 time. X equals. Okay, I'm so used to X being the number plus 1. Oh well. Harmony. Hello, Harmony. How are you doing? Your innate power is now 6 damage. I guess I could have had Ally Matrix give you 5 damage. I don't really foresee myself using auto-targeting protocol that often. Really, I want double shunt energies. Plus, you can get software back really easily. Ember Dunes. Well, there goes all the biomes. Whenever a target is dealt melee damage, deal that target 1 fire damage. At the end of the environment turn, deal each target 1 fire damage. Also, look at that. The Slumbering Serpent is alive! He's alive! Oh, I can't redirect that. Oh, well. I may flip a token. Do I have a thing that... Do I have the thing that deals damage if I flip a token? Did I ever play that? No, I never did. Okay. Oh, then no. Oh no, the Slumbering Serpent took damage. No. Oh, and the Ember Dunes almost took it out too. When a minion enters play, deal it 2 damage, reduce its damage by 2, then deal it 1 damage, and it goes away. Oh, I did play it, I destroyed it. That's probably what I was thinking about, huh? Okay, let's do this because I could put it underneath Inferno Missile Pod. Eugen and Munin was destroyed. No! Eugen! Munin! I don't have double powers. I can win the game. I know I can win the game, so we'll just win the game. or at least will work towards winning the game. And I could have taken out the Gene-bound Firesworn first, but I would have dealt the same damage to Voss in the end because math. Actually, nope. Take that back because I might be able to hit Fixer with that. Actually, would it make sense to Aquatic Correspondence and then play a bajillion cards? I would only be able to play 2 cards with this. And then I wouldn't be able to use Localized Hurricane, so I'd be hoping to draw a Lightning Slash with it, basically. Alright, can I hit Fixer with this? Do not reduce the damage, because it already can be redirected, and that does more damage to Voss. Actually, I take that back. Do not hit Fixer with that. Because I want to hit it with Localized Hurricane. Because Fixer can already redirect this. This redirects to Voss and is 4. That's why I really like Pipe Wrench and Driving Mantis. Because it opens up so many more shenanigans with hitting Fixer. Not just Driving Mantis by itself, but Driving Mantis and Pipe Wrench. I mean, yeah, of course, dual crowbars, really great. Did we ever see a dual crowbars in this game, though? I don't think so. All right, so we had our sort of Spirit Island-esque Sentinels game. We had our actual Spirit Island game. That wraps it up for this week of Dolphin's Dive, featuring Spirit Island and Sentinels of the Multiverse. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I need Voss to have more HP to beat up on. I could have played, certainly, a harder Voss. Playing Ultimate Voss, maybe. But whatever. It's fine. I like playing base villains. As it says in the rules, or not necessarily in the rules, the rule book does mention this for advanced, and I believe the challenge book also, or challenge list of challenges, whatever, also mentions this, that those games are not designed to be balanced. The base games are supposed to be balanced, but someone might say this was a difficulty 0 match, and I probably should have made that more into a difficulty 6 match by playing against Sweden 4 or something, right? Right? Anyway, thank you all for watching Dolphin's Dive for yet another week. It was fun, and I hope you got some more insights into how these games work, and at least had some entertainment with me, Luke Dolphin, as I fumble my way through and try to figure out how these things work. Like when I misunderstood how Rituals of Terror worked, and I was like, oh, a land! So in a 1-player game, this already works! No, it doesn't work. Land is different than board, Mark. It's different. But again, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the other streamers we have on this channel. Every Monday, we have On Deck with Pirate Savvy and Dover, brother-sister duo who like to play Sentinels of the Multiverse in One Deck Dungeon, and Aeon's End occasionally, trying to get achievements when they can. Every Tuesday, we have Handelabra Live with John and sometimes Jeremy, who like to demo content before it is publicly available. And recently, they've been showing some of the Aeon's End expansion, The Nameless, as it's being worked on in the digital game. You can also be sure to check them out for some more Spirit Island things, certainly as they work on finishing the early access of the game, making it more into a public release. Every Thursday is Dolphin's Dive with yours truly for some strategically minded games of Sentinels of the Multiverse, Aeon's End, One Deck Dungeon, and Spirit Island. Next week is May 28th. We'll be able to do a One Deck Dungeon and Aeon's End stream next week. And then the week after that will be the weekly Oblivion match, and then 3 weeks from now will be Spirit Island and Sentinels of the Multiverse again. Excuse me. Every Saturday, at least, well, it was originally for the month of May. I'm willing to extend it further because I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm also not actively employed at the moment, so I will have some extra time that I can use on the Handelabra channel. Anyway, every Saturday at 7 p.m. is Spirit Island Saturdays with me, Lou Dolphin, and usually John, as long as he's not busy on a Saturday night. And last week we had a third guest. This week we should have a third guest. I'll need to message them to make sure that we'll still have that guest available for Saturday, and potentially a guest next Saturday as well. We could certainly turn it more into a regular feature where we have recurring guests or just rotating guests, or not necessarily rotating, but, you know, just fluid guests, I guess, coming in and out playing Spirit Island with me, with John, and schooling us in how Spirit Island works. And every Sunday at 7 p.m. is Tales from the Archive with another letdown for some storytelling Sentinels. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, and Aeon's End are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, and Spirit Island is available in early access on Steam. You can find more information on the games at Handelabra.com. If you want to follow us, of course, twitch.tv/Handelabra Games for the live Twitch feeds. If you're watching us on the Steam page, of course, that's the Twitch page. Twitch.tv/Handelabra Games is where you can come to watch our regular streams. You now require our guests to be spinning in their chairs the whole time. Rotating guests! Literally rotating. Yeah, twitch.tv/Handelabra Games, YouTube, Handelabra, and Twitter and Facebook is Handelabra as well. If you want to follow me personally, I have my own personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Dolphin. I primarily speedrun Final Fantasy 13, but I do some other things, like I play Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, some Final Fantasy 13 challenges, all sorts of things. And if I get enough of a Handelabra crossover, maybe we'll play some Spirit Island on that channel as well. I also have a YouTube channel, Dolphin, and I have a Twitter at Dolphin21. Follow me on all sorts of avenues if you so want to. But I believe that's all I have to say. I don't remember if there's anything active happening right now. But thanks again for watching, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you around in the future. Goodbye.